Hello everyone, Drew Campbell here. Just got back from stocking up on the vegetable component. I find buying vegetables in a supermarket is a lot more expensive. Usually actually not as good quality, I find, as well. Also not as convenient as buying just at the local market close by to the home. Most markets usually don't have the meat varieties that I like. Especially lean meat, so I buy them from the supermarket and find buying the vegetables and eggs and even fruit for the local market. I find it's a lot more convenient and get to take the dog for a walk at the same time. So just got back and I've actually got a roast cooking, and I'll show you what a lean roast looks like. The meat that I chose earlier and I showed you was actually extremely lean. I actually marinated the meat as well with a very little bit of olive oil to break up the meat, and the liquid aminos by Bragg, a little bit of sea salt, and a lot of garlic. Garlic's also good. So here's what I've got for vegetables. Vegetables are also important. That's your carbohydrates and, more importantly, your fiber and a lot of nutrition there as well. So you can't just live on meat. But I'll just show you quickly. So here in the bag, well, here's Wool Gin, five pounds or gin of eggs, approximately 2.5 kilos. That'll last about a week. I got some watermelon. That was a mistake after the fact because it's a lot more expensive this time of year. It was 23 kwai for a half watermelon, but I got some mangoes which are cheap. And all of these are pretty low GI, but I will be consuming the fruit generally in the earlier part of the day. What else have I got here? Very important component, sweet potato. That's where my complex carbohydrates come from. In addition, some onion. Tastes great and also good for you. That's going in the roast today. I've got some Chinese cabbage. My wife's very good at making that into a vegetable dish for an addition to the sides for when I cook the meat. I cook the meat generally. Okay, what else I got? I got some garlic, etc. Some chili for flavour. So that's for the omelettes in the morning with the eggs. And last but not least, also some celery. I find celery is very good nutrition, and it's mainly water, so there's very, very little calories in celery, and it tastes really good. Okay, so now we're going to go in, and I'll show you the roast that has been preparing. And in addition, I prepared earlier before shooting this video, because I'm holding the camera, some chopped up. If you see in here, we've got pumpkin. I purchased half a pumpkin earlier at the market, and I used about a quarter of it, so half of the half, and chopped up into small bits, gave it a good wash and chopped it up. In addition, a large sweet potato and one onion chopped up. Now that is going to go into the roast pan, which I have got roasting in here. It's been roasting at a very slow heat at about 150 degrees, if you can see there on the dial. I like to roast it slowly so it doesn't, it stays succulent and doesn't overcook too quickly. So now I'm going to get the roast out very quickly. And add in a few other additions. So that's been roasting now. If you can see down here, I've got 3 lumps of meat here, and that's been roasting for very slowly for about an hour and a half, but again on a very, very low heat. So a little thing I'm going to add in now at this stage, it breaks up the meat so it's a little bit more tender, is a little bit of red wine. Now, the red wine I'm using is one I purchased that doesn't taste that good to drink, so rather than wasting it, I'll use a little bit for cooking wine. Okay, just a little bit. As the meat is still cooking, that will help break up the meat and give it a little bit of flavour. Now, quite simply, we add in all of our vegetables, or otherwise known as our carbohydrate sauce, which is high in fibre. Now again, sweet potato is a great deal healthier than white potato. Pumpkin also. Now, personally, I like the taste of pumpkin, so that's why I'm cooking. Now, both of these vegetables, when cooked, will shrink a lot. So it does look like I'm cooking a lot of vegetable, but in fact, they will shrink quite a lot when being cooked, especially the pumpkin, because the pumpkin has a lot of water. So I just spread these around. Okay. Onion, break up the onion a little bit. Okay, so that basically is going to be, I'll probably get, let me think, maybe 2 to 3 days food out of this, if I'm lucky. The meat will probably go earlier than the vegetables because I am cooking a little more vegetables, but I've got some more meat in the fridge and I've got the vegetables left over. As long as you put things in very good Tupperware containers, like this here, that's my larger one for the fridge, and I've also got smaller portable ones. As long as you keep them in there, the food will be fine for at least 6 days. And more to the point, I'm only cooking once, and all of that food will last right through, so there's no excuses to stay on the diet, or not to stay on the diet. Okay, thanks everyone. Goodbye.